saw there's already a copy. There's already a copy, so I don't need to make a copy. So that's the old one, which was copied when you did the conversion. So that's good enough. Oops, what did I accidentally click? Okay, so back here. So the first thing is at the page level, what's going on? And at the page level, it is a custom 536 wide. Okay, it's a bit strange to have it 536 wide. I just wonder why that is. Let's just have a look at another one. And this one is layout. Oh, it's the old one, and it is custom 960. So let's just have a look at another page. Product basics. What's this one? 960. Okay, so I think you want your pages to be 960 wide. So I'm going to make it 960 wide just to make it consistent with the others. So maximum 960 wide. And so I'll go back into here. Orders experiment. Go back in here. So we'll make this. We've got all of these. Oh, we've got all of this stuff in here. Oh, I see. So we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff in here. Okay. Right, but let's just sort this one out. So we'll just focus on this one. So the way to do it is you've got to think about everything as being in a row or a column. So these two buttons are obviously in a row. That and that are obviously those two things in a row. Those two things are in a column. Those two things in a row. So that's the first thing. You kind of start to see things in rows and columns. So this layout here, it's aligned to parent, and then these things in here are, this is on the left and this is on the right. I find this is a really bad way to try and, I find align to parent really unhelpful. So I'm going to turn this, and basically what I can see is that this box here is at the bottom and it's centered, and these two buttons are in the center of this box. So I'm going to make this a row, and then I'm going to tell it to put them in the middle and space them out. So that's the first thing. And in these, so this is a row, and within that row, so that's fine. And then this thing here, I'm going to center in that thing, and then I'm going to actually remove all of this stuff in here, because we'll just let now let Flexbox deal with the positioning. So that's sorted that out. Now we want this. This is obviously sort of a next tab, and we want this to be in a row with this. So I'm going to put this and make a row around it, arrange in a row, and then we wanted that to be down the bottom, and I'm going to get rid of that padding as well, because we'll let the container deal with the positioning. So if I wanted in this container above it, we'll spread it right to the edge. So hopefully that'll give us what we want. If we wanted this to be right at the end, so if we make this, let's say we want this to be right in the corner. I don't know, it seems good enough to me, but next, let's come back to that. If you made a decision and you want that to be here, then you would change the size of the box that's containing it to be full width. So that's step one. Step two, but the main thing was in here. So let's just have a look on this whole page. So in this header, this is the one you're worried about. So let's just focus on this one. So I'd say that you've got quite a busy little thing going on in here. So we will, within the things in here, I'm going to start just trying to start thinking about rows and columns in this component here. So let's see, we've got that and that and that. I'm not sure where that should be. But I'm going to say that is attached. I can see that those two things are attached. So let's just make that a row, and make that a row, and this is a repeat. Is this a repeating group? So there's our repeating group there, and there's a repeating group there. Okay, cool. So within the repeat, so this is where this is getting messed up. We want to make this box fit height to content. That is good. So that as these get bigger, this gets bigger, which is good. And then in this box here, I think we want a little bit of space between those two things. So in this, so in there, space between elements. I'm going to stop this fit. Well, we'll just let the container deal with the size of the text now. And then in here, in that repeating group, we've got these two things. So if we want a little bit of space between those two things, let's just spread them out. So that's spread them out inside that container. That's sorted that out. And then in this one, probably the same thing. We'll just, because the container that the repeating group is in is fixed width, we can just tell these, we'll make this a row, and we will cram them all together, and then so we've got some padding on the left, get rid of, and that's why it's not fitting in. Get rid of that. What's going on there, and we'll get rid of that. And then this, we won't make it fit to the container, so we'll spread out, and then we'll make the things in there spread out. And it'd be nice if those aligned, so we won't make that fixed width, we'll make that as wide as the container. And what's this? Okay. So if we and also we're just going to keep going with this, but and then in this, let's just tidy this one up, this, and this. I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to lay out, but let's see if we can just make something sensible. This is a sort of, this is aligned to parent, so what's this doing? It's going into the top right, which is definitely probably going to be a problem. So what I kind of see this as two columns. We've got this column and this column. So basically I'd make this parent a row with a cell on the left and a cell on the right in a column, and then within that cell, and that's so there's two things in a row, this column and this column, and then there's so basically I'm starting to sort of pull this apart. It's quite a complicated set. We've got, this is one big row, that's on the left, that's on the right, then with this thing on the left we've got this column of stuff, and on the thing on the right we've got this column of stuff. So we'll just have hopefully I can look at it without having to log in, but maybe I can't. Nope. And obviously I'm not logged in, so I can't see the data. This is a bit, see how this has gone crazily down here? That's a bit weird. What we're going to do is this thing here, this thing here. What's going on there? Is it? So there's some weird space between there and there. I doubt that's what you want. Text. And this is collapsed when hidden, that's good. But so you can sort of see what I'm doing. I'm just going to, I know those should be, I think, yeah, this is this. Oh, I see, this search is in, okay, so what I'm going to do is take this and this, and I think I understand what that is now, so turn it into a fixed container, and then I don't like this, but just to get it working. So now, so that's now fixed. So that little thing there will be fixed on top of that input field. And then this, what is this? So I'm trying to sort of get this into one group and then this into another group, so this can form my this 1 and 2, 3 can be a column, and then, but I'm not quite sure how this lays out, what this is supposed to look like. So I'd have to sort of guess, but now I know that the things in this box will lay out and things in this box will lay out. I'm just trying to get this column of things to lay out. And generally what I find is when you do that conversion, it does some, it sticks in a whole lot of padding on the left and right. And generally the first thing I'm doing with these padding things is oh, I see, that's actually a component, as a search component. Okay, all right. Well, it's now in that fixed box, doesn't matter. It's not actually an image. But generally what I'm finding when I convert things is that this sort of stuff is really unhelpful. It just stuffs up the automatic layout of these things. And I can keep going, but I don't really know what it should look like, but I hope that points you in the right direction.